What's up? So another one. I got another one for you, bro. You know what it is, dude? I'm like, I have ideas, right? So this is what happens to me before we get into the topic.
Sometimes you just think.
I'm just like this. I'm like, so this is what happens. An idea comes in, right? Then it goes like this, right? Like that. And I'm like this. Oh no, Mo, something happened. And you're like, what happened? I'm pregnant, dude. And I'm like, I have an idea, dude. And I gotta get it out. And I'm like, I gotta get it out. And I'm like, Moses, hold my hand. So here's the idea. So this is got an idea, baby, dude.
Shit.
And now I have an idea, baby. And I'm gonna rock it. And then it grows up really. And then, so anyway, yeah, this is.
That's from Chris Barger.
Live a life where you don't have to be full of fucking shit. Live a life where you don't have to lie. You can just be 100% honest. You can be one. You can live. You can just be truthful, right? I'm an open book most of the time. There's some things I keep to myself, right? I don't mind like not completely giving up like everything about my relationship, right? I don't like to, but I don't mind talking about it either because I'm living my life as honest as I possibly can and as good as I can at all times. And I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou and, oh, I can't believe you had a little bit of drugs. That's bad for you. Like, I'm not that guy. But I'm just trying to live a life where I can talk about it without shame, right? Because a lot of people deal with that. Without guilt, right? Without, like, from mistakes to the best things possible. That's at work, that's relationships, that's mistakes. I just want to be completely transparent, like no bullshit. I love people, especially I didn't know even these people existed, but they're no nonsense and no bullshit. They're just very open, very honest, and it's because they're living a life like that. And when I ran into these people at a younger age, I didn't understand why they were. I'm like, wow, he just divulged a lot of information that I don't want to know about, or you're telling too much, but. Live a life where you can do that. Why not? Why not be able to share an experience with somebody or share a lesson that you learned and be able to discuss that with somebody without bullshitting at all whatsoever? Try it. I used to embellish all the time. Some of my stories were embellished, or there was a little bit of to make the story more entertaining. Well, go live that shit for real. Some of the things I went through when I was younger, I'd like to tell those stories. Some of the things I went through when I was in my 20s and 30s. I just like to be completely honest because there's lessons that I've learned am able to speak about. Whether it was alcoholism, whether it was smoking a shit ton of weed when we were younger and making bad decisions and doing dumb shit. My honest truth might be able to help the next person from not making that same mistake. Or even if they weren't going to make that mistake. It's still a juicy story most of the time. I mean, have you ever been through anything to the point where you're like, I don't know if I should even tell anybody about this or not talk about this? I mean, even talking about fucking
depends. Everything has its time and place.
Sex. I don't even mind talking about sex. Like, that's part of the reason why I have a podcast. And it's not just because about sex. It's because I don't mind divulging all the information because I have nothing to hide.
I agree.
Zero.
I agree. I agree with living your. I don't want to say living your truth. That's like a laid out thing, but like living, being honest about your life,
you,
about being, about life. You gotta be honest with yourself too.
Yeah.
A lot of people live.
That's the biggest part.
Live like a fantasy in their own head, and they live like a life that, in their head, this is like I don't know. It's weird.
It's a delusion.
It is delusional. So it's like that is. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or whatever, so I don't really know. But being honest is just easier.
It's so much easier.
It's just easy because you don't have to worry about remembering your lies.
A story.
Remembering your stories, remembering your lies.
Yeah.
And if you're being honest about it, then you don't have to try to. Because some people remember your shit. Some people you'll tell them a story, you'll tell them, they're like, bro, you said last time that.
You said,
and
bro.
they're like,
what?
You're a liar, bro. So it's like you're gonna do that. You'll do that more, and then it's easier when you just honest with yourself. Because like I said, I think a lot of people. Especially in show business, in those type of arenas, they do a lot of lying, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's even part of their
even
acting.
In salesmanship. Some people who are just salesmen.
Yeah, because you lie to sell. Yeah. So you gotta live with that.
I like to sell honest.
Yeah, when you come back with that, it's gonna come. You know what I mean? Like it'll come back to you. So then
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just easier. If you're just being straight up honest with people and telling them the truth, you don't got to worry about it. You can walk away from a sale and be like,
At least I was honest.
I told him everything the
told him
truth.
the truth.
I told him he ain't gonna come back and be like, man, you sold me a what they call wolf tickets.
Yeah, you sold me them wolf tickets, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna be none of that. And then when you honor with yourself, you can go to bed at night and sleep.
It's literally one of the most important things in life is to just be straight up honest with yourself, because you know you better than anybody else, right? So when you're creating a story or a delusion or a lie or being that type of person, you're believing in your own bullshit. You really are believing your own bullshit. So you have a delusional mindset, not a completely delusional, but you have like a fictitious mindset on what is fact and what is fiction at this point. So you aren't even living. You're living in your own life.
It's gonna be hard to grow and hard to be successful and to relationships. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder for you because you're living a lot. Like nobody. People are not, listen. Most people, I know the media, everybody tries to turn down people like they're stupid. Most people are really smart.
For
right?
sure.
They know a lot of shit. Sometimes they're not gonna pick at you for it,
yeah.
or they play dumb and they're not gonna pick. And this people, this is everyday people, not just college grads, high school. People are pretty human. They know about the way humans act. They know the way people lie. They know people can be telling the truth sometimes. You can just see from people's mannerisms, all that stuff. Like that. So like, and people know. So like when you're doing that, people know. Like if you go in there selling somebody some shit and they're like, they look at you, bro. They can see.
Who is
like, is this you just trying to sell me some bullshit, or you trying to just get some money, or whatever? So most times they can see. That's why when they get turned down, they're like, oh man, they didn't want it, because they know you're a fucking liar.
And it's such a relief in life whenever you're living your honest. You're living in your honesty, and whether the honesty is humiliating, because humility is important. Whether the honesty is beat you up a little to the point where it feels like it's negative, at least you're honest. And if there's something that's negative, you can change it. But at least you're honest about yourself and the fact that that's a problem. Because that's another thing when it comes down to self-awareness, is just being completely 100% honest with yourself first, figuring it all out, and then you can. Then I feel more comfortable in my own skin. People feel comfortable in their own skin by being just straight up. I learned this when I was younger.
Once you put that out, most of the time, it's gonna just show.
Yeah.
Like it'll show it'll show you. It'll show on you, and people will see it on you that you're just being straight up. Like there's no bullshit with you.
No. You gotta be the real one, bro. You gotta be the real one in the sea of fucking fake ass shit. You're gonna be a stand up because you're being the real one at all times.
Yeah, you just gotta keep it. It's easier. Like I said was saying before about a lot of people that grow in like showbiz, whatever. They've been lying their whole life. Yeah. And then when they're finally by themselves and they're successful that's why they end up with like taking drugs, committing suicide, and all this other shit.
They never got connected to their truth.
They never like really sat and was honest with themselves and honest with everybody. They live like a facade, and you know what I mean. That you only can play that role so long.
That's the thing. It's roles.
Yeah.
It's roles, man. Like you could be in your own lane, but if you're just playing a character or playing a role or putting on a facade, it's not really coming off as you. Like I always say, the way I speak to Moses, the way I speak to my wife, and the way I speak, it's just who I am. And anybody who knows me knows that. So I can't, if I came off differently to everybody at all times, you could tell that I'm just chameleon my way in and out of situations. I understand socializing, right? But being consistent is super important. So me speaking to a customer and also speaking to my boss, and let's say I'm on the phone with my boss talking about the customer, but I'm on three-way and I don't know. At least I was being myself between the two, and now there's no lie. It's all real, and they can tell that I was being honest. Same thing with my wife. If I'm being honest and being truthful the whole entire time, I don't have to bullshit anybody.
Well, it's the same thing like I was saying before about, if I'm out here pushing some, marriage is good and this and that, and then you see me down the street with a hooker, right? Or
arguing,
or fighting with somebody down the street. Got videos of me doing that, or I'm at strip clubs and partying with women and stuff. You're not gonna believe me. You're gonna think everything I'm saying is
fake.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be
portrayed as
that or perceived as that. I want people to see me that way, right? Because I want to be honest, and it's easier for me to do that.
And I don't want to see myself that way. I don't want to see myself that way, because when I see other people do it, I go, "Oh, this dude's living."
That's why I don't believe people. That's why it's hard to. That's why it's hard for people to believe people, trust people. Even when people are coming up on the YouTube and they're telling you like, "Listen, man, I can get this. This is how you got to do this. Get this, and you like,
what?
Bro,
You ain't living that life.
I don't believe you, right? Nobody believes anybody what anybody says anymore
No.
because of that. Because you got a lot of
so
false
full of
people
shit.
that are full of shit.
You gotta be realistic with yourself.
You gotta be
And
realistic.
you
You
gotta be
gotta
honest
keep
with
going.
yourself.
When stuff falls, you gotta just keep on moving forward.
Moving forward and stepping up the game and shit. But what, I'm just saying. I think no, seriously. I think that's one of the most important. One of the keys to life is being completely honest.
Just
with
be
yourself.
honest. Be as
Look at yourself in the fucking mirror. Really take a look at yourself and go and it's not like you're chastising yourself or you're berating yourself. You're not being completely negative. Or like I've even heard like of negative self-talk. It's good to do positive self-talk for sure, but you can't do positive self-talk until you're talking about the honest topic. Talk about the honest topics to yourself.
Yeah.
Have those honest conversations with yourself,
But
and then you'll be able to even have them.
That's self-awareness.
with
That's
other people.
another thing too.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is a big thing. Part
Super
of that.
major important.
Like, why am I the way I am? Why do I react the same way? Why do I do this? Why do I eat unhealthy? Why do I do unhealthy shit? Why do I act different around people? Why do people piss me off when they do this? Why does this happen? You got to go down that route, and then you can find like find those why reasons, and then you can make yourself better, because that's the only way you're gonna get better.
It's the only way you're gonna get better,
Yeah,
dude.
you gotta be honest.
If you're
with
living in
your
a
situation.
delusional situation, you're never ever gonna get
I feel
out.
like living, on somebody's floor somewhere, and you just in this thing where you're like delusional about it and all that. You're gonna be there forever, bro.
Yeah,
Until you figure out, like, listen, why am I here?
What is
What am I
happening?
doing wrong?
Yeah.
Right?
Is
And
it
if you,
me?
and if you say all that, and then you
Why do I keep not
and then
having
you put
friends?
the blame,
Is it me?
and then you put the blame on somebody else,
Yeah.
you can't fix them.
A lot of
You
people are
can't
calling
fix
me an
them.
asshole. Am I an asshole?
Yeah, but I always say this saying, I say this on my podcast too, but I learned a long time ago, one of my like early mentors, like, if 5 people call you an asshole, you can probably overlook it and you can just brush it off. But if 20 people call you an asshole,
Probably an
you
asshole.
need to look in the mirror,
Yeah.
because you might be an
Check
asshole.
yourself, dog.
Right? So it's like,
You can figure it out.
you gotta look into that. You're like, man, what are you doing, bro? Like, you're not doing enough. You could do more. And you're like, 20 people do it, and you're like, shit. And they all say that same shit. You gotta look into it. You gotta figure out what that is. Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? What makes you not get up and go at it, or go do this, or go to what's important?
That's another thing too. Sometimes it could be it could hold you back a lot because you're never getting things off of your chest, and you're never really getting things off of your mind.
It's building up, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a pressure cooker and building up consistently, and you're not able to get past something because you never were honest about it to begin with. And once you see the realization of the honesty behind the situation, or maybe it took you a minute just to see that perspective, and you're like, oh crap, that's what it is. And then you get it, and that epiphany happens.
And most time it's
and
not
you
gonna
can
be
pass it.
Most time it's not gonna be that.
Yeah.
epiphany. You're not gonna just be like,
And you're like, oh,
that's
bing!
why I was an asshole.
Yeah,
right?
there's no
Yeah, it's gonna be over time. You're gonna see these things. You're gonna be like, damn, bro.
Oh,
Like,
man,
why do
about
people
that?
keep treating me like that? But this is what I said about individual responsibility. Is if you see those people treating you like that, and you blame it on the people treating you like that, then you're missing the point.
Right.
Because you can't fix them treating you a certain way. You can't fix somebody saying something bad to you. You can't fix somebody doing something to you. You just can't fix it. There's no way to fix it. Not to say that, they can't be blamed for that. They can be. What I'm saying is you can't fix the situation, right? I can't fix the way Louis treats me. Right? I can either embrace it, right? I can either accept it, or I can either move on.
Or you can say something.
I can say something, I can move on. Even then, that might be a total waste of air.
Yeah.
But it could be, you could say it anyways, say it and move on.
Yeah.
But if it keeps happening, I can't affect that. I can't change him
Yeah.
to make me feel better.
Yeah.
And that's just most relationships, that's the way it is too, is I can't change my other half to make me feel better. I gotta feel better about myself, or get away from it.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing you can do, is get away from it. It's not healthy for you, move on. So I think that's part of it too. But you gotta be honest with yourself in the end of the day, right? It's not everybody else's problem. It's your problem.
Yeah.
Like, you not being honest, and you not being truthful about your situation, about your life,
Yeah.
about where you're headed to, about
About
your
your
health.
situation,
Right? People
about
don't want to be honest about their health
Yeah.
nowadays. It's like, come on, bro.
just think about it, bro. Be real with yourself, bro. Be honest.
Be real. 100.
Do it.